and welcome to another episode of Anime Quest. I'm going to be talking about a series today called Selector Infected Wixoss. This is my first impressions actually, kind of, because I watched the first episode yesterday and the next four today. Now this is a 12-episode anime series produced by JC Staff. It's technically 24 episodes because there's a second season that just came out called Selector Spread Wixoss. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of episodes to look forward to. I might even do a review of it. Of course, I'm watching Blue Seed right now, as you can see in the background. I bought the DVD from Section 23 Films because, as we know, ADV is defunct, so, you know, things happen. But anyways, the anime series is, I didn't think I was going to like it at first because it was based off a card game. It looked a little bit generic, and not just because it was based off a card game was my only reasoning behind it, because, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh's anime is kind of, it doesn't really follow the card game. I didn't know if this would, not to mention I had no interest in actually getting into the card game, and my thoughts were this show's just going to basically be to sell the card game, kind of like, you know, Card Fight Vanguard, or, you know, what was it, Future Card Buddy Fight, and, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, all seem like they're just there to promote the card game and, you know, sell more cards. And, well, Pokemon's not a card game anime, but it also seems like it's there to just sell more cards too. But anyways, I'm actually rather enjoying the series. It hasn't struck me huge yet, but the fifth episode actually, is the reason why I want to make this impressions video, because I was impressed. I was trying to make a joke by having impressed and impressions like together, but it didn't work. But anyways, I am rather impressed actually. JC Staff is my favorite animation studio, and it's got their typical style that they usually have in most of what they do, so I automatically liked the animation. The opening's okay. A lot of people say they liked it. Well, not a lot. A couple people in the comments section, because Funimation uploaded the episodes, said that they liked the opening. I was like, I don't care much for the opening, but the ending's pretty cool. It's got a pretty dark tone to it, but it's it has a nice melody to it. It's weird. It starts out real nice. I don't like the rest of the song as much, but my favorite part of the soundtrack so far is the ending. Now, basically what it is there's this card game, and there's a girl named Ruko, Ruko, who basically, you know, she's not very ambitious. She doesn't really have very many goals. She's kind of stoic. I don't want to use the word stoic because she's not a bland, boring, emotionless person. She's got plenty of emotion, but she doesn't really have any drive to do anything. You know, she doesn't care about making any friends. Her grandma's worried about her, though, because she doesn't have any friends, so for the sake of her grandma, she's a caring person. She goes off and makes friends. But anyways, and her brother tries to help her get friends by introducing her to a popular card game, Wixoss, which is popular amongst the girls, which she ends up getting a special card, which is like a Ligon or something. I actually can't remember what it was called, but it's like a Ligon or something, but it's a special card. It's got like its own personality, and it talks to her, and she's one of the selected. And when you're a selector, you know, you can compete and win in battles to become something called the Eternal Girl, where you can get your wishes granted. And she meets some other chicks who, you know, that end up becoming friends with them, like her grandmother wanted, thanks to the card game, who are also selectors from the same card game. Now, who also want to become the Eternal Girl and get some wishes. So, you know, it's got that kind of, it reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! In a sense of, you know, that theme of friendship, but that theme of friendship isn't very prevalent. But anyways, the plot actually, you know, that's the thing that surprised me. The plot actually seems to have a plot instead of just being there for the card game, and I like that. Also, not to mention, the game Wixoss, I can't really touch up on the rules so far, but from what I've seen of it, it actually looks like it might be a fun card game to play. I'd play it if, you know, it wasn't the case that there's probably going to be absolutely nobody playing it. Like, I'm probably never going to find somebody who actually plays the card game, maybe seen and like the anime, but never actually played the card game. Hey, maybe if I get bigger here on YouTube, I can tell you guys whenever I'm going to cons and what cons I'm going to, and you could bring cards, and I could bring cards, and we could play some Selector Infected Wixoss. I don't think that's ever going to be happening. Now, there is some stupidness to it sometimes, like character decisions and whatnot. First of all, one of the girls she meets, Suzuki, I think's her name, she loves her brother, typical, and her wish, if she becomes Eternal Girl, is that she wants to be able to go out with her brother, I guess. She doesn't really clearly establish what her wish is. She doesn't like plainly flat out and say, yeah, this is my wish, but you just connect the dots through so many different things that you know that's her wish. The other one is Hitoe, and her wish is actually to get friends. Now this is where the plot gets good. This is what happens in episode 5 that made me want to actually talk about it. If you lose 3 times, they tell you this early on, you lose your chance to be an Eternal Girl. You're no longer allowed to be a Selector. What they don't tell you is, even if you keep winning, you can eventually get your dreams and wishes granted if you keep winning and become the Eternal Girl. But if you lose 3 times from being a Selector, you're no longer allowed to be a Selector. But here's the thing, there's a catch to it, and this is why I thought it was cool. And it wasn't just generic, like you're no longer allowed to be Selector anymore, or you're going to die, which I seemed overboard for the show anyways, but that would have been a generic way to go. But it wasn't generic. It's the opposite of you being able to have your dreams come true. Literally, your dreams are invalid now. You're no longer allowed to have them. You lose your dreams, you can't do it anymore. And the second part to this is Hitoe's dream was to make friends. But while playing the card game, she already made friends with those 2 characters, even though that was her dream. The other 2 characters, like Suzuki, I think it was, and the main character, Ruko. And when she ended up losing, she didn't know, because this is where some of the stupidness comes in. For whatever reason, those SIGINs that I mentioned earlier, the cards with the personalities that, each Selector gets, for whatever reason, they even admitted it themselves that it was stupid that they did so, and there was no reason why they couldn't tell, but for whatever reason, they left out that if you lose 3 times, you can no longer get your dream. I thought that was pretty stupid, and since Hitoe's dream was to make friends, she literally lost the ability to make new friends and lost her own friends. Like, whenever they tried to touch her and talk to her, she didn't know who they were, and at the same time, it would hurt Hitoe because she would get like an electric shock. And it was pretty awful. In fact, it kind of gave me the feels, because I was like, oh, she was making friends, and now this stupid thing won't let her make friends. And, Ruko, the main character, I'm kind of curious to see how this goes, because she actually doesn't have a dream, and she's often mentioned this. She loves playing the game, and she really likes to win in battle, but she doesn't really have a dream, even though she's a Selector, which is weird. But I'm guessing that her dream is actually going to end up being like, to restore Hitoe's dream is probably going to be what her dream turns into. I'm just taking a guess. I haven't seen past episode 5, so we'll see. The other stupid thing is there's this bitchy character named Akira, and she is also a Selector. And she's got like a massive inferiority complex and is really mean to people. But anyways, there was a situation where Ruko and Suzuki, I keep thinking her name is, but I think it's Suzuki. She's like the second main character, the first female character that pops up besides our main one, Ruko. But anyways, what they're doing is they're hiding from these girls that the other chick, sent after them so that she could duel them as a Selector. And they don't want to, go against her because she's brutal and she's tough. So, I don't really know why they're running away from these girls, and this is kind of stupid, because it's like, what are those girls going to do? Are they going to like drag you there on your hands and knees? They're like middle school or high school girls. I don't know. It didn't say whether they were in high school or middle school yet, or at least I wasn't paying attention if they did. But anyways, I was like, what are they going to do? And it's not, you can just like yell out help and they won't drag you to that chick. I don't know. Not to mention, you have to accept whether or not they want to duel you anyways, because it even says that, that you have to say, yes, I will duel you as a Selector. So, I don't know. There was a few stupid things in there like that, a few plot points that were a little bit but at the same time, I'm glad to see the show actually has a plot of its own, and not just there to sell a card game. In fact, I don't even know if it's a real card game yet. You know, maybe I'll look to see if it's a real card game. So anyways, that was all for that. Selector Infected Wixoss. I'm going to keep watching it. I hope it ends well. I know there's its second season, Selector Spread Wixoss. I'll probably review the first season. I probably won't review the second season. The reason to that is I'm not going to watch the second season right away. I'm going to wait for whenever Funimation decides they want to actually dub it. So I hope it ends up being really good. I hope Blue Seed ends up being really good. I like it so far. It's got its own little problems too, but it's going to get a full review. I might not review it with the OVA. Nah, I'll probably review it with the OVA. So anyways, that was it. Yeah, Selector Infected Wixoss. You should watch it. You know, you should be watching. Funimation's tagline, or is that like their low company like saying or whatever? I don't know. Anyways, have a good day. Make sure to watch your next, whatever you're going to watch next. Go watch some PewDiePie, have some fun. Like, comment, and subscribe, and look out for new videos. Maybe check out some of my old videos. I do reviews, if you didn't catch that already from me saying I was going to review Blue Seed. But anyways, have a good day. Stay awesome.